What a year it's been. In this video, we're going to recap the best of 2018 for sample libraries, virtual instruments, and plugins. Now, all of the stuff we're covering here is on the best 2018 post, which I'll include a link to take you straight over. You can see the contributor as well as the guest picks all throughout the post, links to reviews and links to any of the instruments we talk about. Of course, I'll include a link to take you straight over to the sample library review page. Hi, I'm Don Bodan from SampleLibraryReview.com. In this video, we're going to break it down into categories. We'll be looking at best hybrid instruments 2018, best percussion of 2018, the best collection of instruments, best guitars, and best orchestral instruments. When it came to hybrid instruments, a late entry in the year really took a lot of us by storm, and it was one of Dirk Ellert's picks, Project Chaos by Hybrid 2. Dirk gave it a 10 out of 10, saying, "Rarely you stumble upon a sample library that is in itself a pure bliss and inspiration, but also allows you to use your own samples." I have to agree with Dirk's pick here. I'll include a link to take you over to the first look I did at Project Chaos by Hybrid 2. It's Daniel James's company. We want to take a little deeper look into what this library has to offer. Contributor Stephen McDonald, his pick for hybrid was the classic trailer Toolkit by Keep Forest. It's his third entry in the Ezrex series. Stephen says this is exactly what he'd been wanting for trailer sound design. Of course, we've got a review by Steve McDonald on the site of the classic trailer Toolkit. One of my picks this year was the Dronar rolling percussion module by Gothic Instruments. If you're familiar with the Dronar modules, you know these are ambient sound design and sound effects libraries. This rolling percussion module, the reason that I had to include it is because this is probably the most useful collection of suspense, horror, thriller tools that I have seen. It's so easy to use, and you can create and generate some very wonderful evolving atmospheres and textures. Got a first look of Dronar rolling percussion module. I'll be sure to include a link to that. A surprise pick in the hybrid category here was from contributor MCR. It was Doom 1.1 by Sample Track. Michael says, especially in a year when there's a flurry of releases from heavyweight developers, this update is eminently usable and very reasonably priced. Now, I've got a review of the original version of this library. I'll include a link to take you straight over to that review page. It'd be great if you wanted to share your pick for the best hybrid library for 2018. Go ahead and comment below just so I can take a look. I'd love to see what your favorites were. Let's go ahead and jump into the best of percussion picks. And first up, Emmett Cook picked Shimmer, Shake, Strike by In Session Audio. Emmett said whenever he is writing production music, he finds himself using this library on about 70% of his tracks. definitely captures the human element of performance, and it's the only library I use for shakers or struck percussion now. Got another percussive pick from Craig Peters, David Oliver, Rhythmic Odyssey by Sound Iron. Craig says that David did an amazing job with these drum performances, allowing him to quickly program more tribal or ethnic styles of music on the fly, and I could not agree more. I had a chance to do a first look video just to kind of get a feel for the instrument, and boy, this is just a fantastic set of performances of world percussion. And last but not least, in the best of percussion, Stephen McDonald chose Cerberus by Audio Imperia. Steven said, seems like drum libraries are a dime a dozen these days, but this one really delivers on its promise to provide a good solution for modern trailer percussion right out of the box. Of course, we've got a review by Steve McDonald. I'll include a link to take you straight over to that review page. Love to see what your favorite percussion library from the last year was. Comment below. Let me know. I'm sure a lot of other readers here are going to be excited to see what other libraries users were really into. Now, these are instruments that contain a wide variety of timbres, tones, made for scoring in specific genres at times. One of my picks, Tomorrowland Elixir of EDM by Design My Beats. Now, this contact instrument has a huge range of very useful EDM and pop instruments. I found myself using this constantly to add a little fresh and quirky flavor to a bunch of the commercial spots that I scored this year. If you want to learn more about the library, I'll include links to take you over to my first look of Tomorrow Elixir EDM by Design My Beats in the description below. Now, it was no surprise to me to see Ethera EVI 2.0 as one of editor Brian Brilow's picks. This features the amazing voice of Clara Soros, as well as an arsenal of synthesizers. And Brian says every Ethera library release has been better than the last, and this one pushes the borders of what can they do to up the game. I'll, of course, include a link over to the review of Ethera EVI 2.0. It was a great year for scoring collection instruments, and one of my picks here was the British Drama Toolkit by Spitfire Audio. Spitfire put this out as a tool to compose, arrange, and complete a cue in one pass, and it delivers. The quality of the playback gets top marks, and as I've gotten to know the instrument, it still feels like I'm in the room with the performers, waving and gesturing to get more expressive variation and movement. I'll include a link to the first look British Drama Toolkit video that I published not too long after the instrument came out. Contributor Raymond Ricker had a pick of Christopher Young, The Collection for Contact by ADO. Raymond said that finally a library for the truly adventurous. The collection includes textural world and orchestral touch, and when used in combination can produce some of the most unique sounding and avant-garde music imaginable. I'll include a link to take you over to a review of Christopher Young Collection by ATO. Did you have a favorite scoring collection from this year? I'd love to hear about it. Please comment below. Tell us what your favorite scoring collection of instruments was in the description below. Contributor TMK Davis selected Shreddage 3 by Impact Soundworks, stating that this was a great sounding product and Impact Soundworks' years of experience at crafting playable virtual guitars is evident in this instrument, calling this the new era of shreddage guitars. Another top pick from editor Brian Brylow, Evolution Texas Twang by Orange Tree Samples. I have to say I am really on board with Brian's pick here. Brian stated that he's waited for what seemed like forever for someone to release a Telecaster library with both pickups sampled. Texas Twang is a vintage beast that gives you the chicken picking sound from the bridge, but also the added creamy mellow sound of the neck pickup. Another one of my top picks for 2018 here was the Virtual Bassist Bundle by UJAM. Now, this is a newer release, but for years I have been struggling with finding the right virtual bass instruments for the majority of my scoring work, and all this changed with the release of UJAM's Virtual Bass Bundle. These three instruments will leave me hard-pressed to find anything more realistic and easy to use for my bass guitar needs. I just recently had a chance to check out the library in a first look video. I'll include a link to that. When it came to virtual guitars, was there a library that you really loved that we didn't mention? I'd love to hear about it. Please comment below so I can check it out and share it with the other readers as well. First up, contributor Andrea Federici chose Jaeger, stating that this is their first full library incorporating orchestral instruments, but you'd never know it from the classy way they've pulled it off. Jaeger was also a selection from Walid Fakali. He said this was another fantastic library. It delivers a full orchestral template with cool articulations and powerful sound, especially like the amount of work that went into the solo voice. Now, I'll be sure to include Andre's review of Jaeger from Audio Imperia. Another pick from Dirk Ellert here was the Emotional Violin by Best Service. Dirk stated one of the most versatile, great sounding solo libraries he's had his hands on. With no shortage of key switches for articulations, as well as ornamentation with latching. This is a really great library. I'll be sure to include a link over to the first look video we've got over on SLR. Contributor Alex Mueller, one of her best selections was Vertigo Strings by Cinematic Instruments. Alex said that this instrument goes far beyond the organic string sound, probably best thought of as a synth which draws its source material from the string section. Alex was kind enough to get a review together with Vertigo Strings. Contributor Rayborn Johnson, one of his picks here was Century Strings by 8DO. Rayborn said he'd be hard-pressed to think of a sample library that he likes better or uses more, stating that this is definitely his favorite pick from the past year. I'll be sure to, of course, include a link over to the Century Strings Bundle review. Another top pick from Rayborn here was the Forzo Modern Brass by Heaviosity. Rayborn said there's plenty of brass libraries out there now, but he doesn't know of a single brass library that offers the flexibility and sonic depth of Forzo. Now, I have to really agree with this summary and pick from Rayborn. This is one of my personal favorite libraries from this year as well. I'll include a link that'll take you over to the Forzo first look video. And the last of our picks here in the best orchestral libraries this year comes from Wald Vinalgi. He says the team that delivered the powerful, simple, and slick string libraries that everyone loves has turned to brass for an awesome release. And of course, I'd love to hear what your favorite orchestral virtual instrument that came out this year was. Please comment below, share it with us. Now that's going to wrap it up for the video. There's a whole lot more picks from our regular contributors, as well as some guest picks from guest contributors on this page. This will be a link in the description below. There's a lot of stuff in this page that didn't make my radar, and I thought I was keeping pretty good touch with what was going on, so I'm sure there's going to be something on here that you'll learn about as well. Thanks for checking out the video. Always love your support. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to head over to samplelibraryreview.com for news, reviews, and our weekly deals page.